Welcome to Beautifully Consumed, where I believe the best way to live a life with purpose is by loving and becoming your most true self. Because when you know yourself fully, you shine a light that gives others the permission to do the same. I'm your host, Chelsea Leigh. I'm here to inspire and encourage you by sharing my journey, the stories of others, and all the tips, tricks, and life lessons about aligning with your highest self. You're in the right place if you're ready to be wildly dedicated to finding your purpose, becoming your most true self, and learning what it means to be beautifully consumed with living a life that is undeniably yours. Hello, and welcome back to another episode of Beautifully Consumed. I'm your host, Chelsea Leigh. So glad to have you here today because we're talking about one of my all-time favorite things. It's something that's totally free. All you have to do is start, and you really only have to do it for like 10 to 15 minutes to see benefits. So today we are beautifully consumed with walking. I'm actually beautifully consumed with walking every single day. It's something that is kind of a non-negotiable for me. It's something that I've seen massive benefits from and something I look forward to every single day. And I am on a mission to convince you why walking will change your life, because it just hands down will. And it makes me sad to learn how many people don't take advantage. If you are able to walk, it will change your life. There's just no questions about it. And I wish more people knew about this. So that is what we're going to get into in today's episode. And if you stay until the end, I actually have a very fun surprise for you. So make sure you listen all the way through. But we are going to start with just going over kind of like a bird's eye view of all the benefits of walking and why it's so good for you. There are so many medical studies that have been done, especially recently, about the benefits of walking for your mental health, your physical health, your emotional health. There's lots of podcast episodes and YouTube videos that will go into all the nitty-gritty details and all the statistics and things like that of why walking is so beneficial. I'm not going to go quite that deep. I just want to give you kind of an overview. Now, I do have quite the list, but it is not as extensive as it could be. So I just want to give you kind of a summary of why and how walking can actually change your life. So first, we'll start with the obvious, and that is the physical benefits of walking. So did you know that just within 5 to 10 minutes of walking at a brisk pace, so I like to say walking like you're running late. So brisk walking for just 5 to 10 minutes will start to lower your blood pressure. That's incredible. Every single one of you listening to this has 5 to 10 minutes to get a brisk walk in, and you'll start to see benefits in just that short amount of time. Then within 10 to 15 minutes, you'll actually start to think and feel more creative. And within 20 to 30 minutes, you'll start to get into that fat burning zone. So this is something that is so simple, and it really is not a big time commitment to start to see little improvements. Walking is excellent for our cardiovascular health, which is our heart health. So it helps prevent things like heart disease, heart attacks, which we know here in the United States is one of the main causes of premature death. It will help improve your muscular skeletal health, which is essentially like your bones and your muscles, helps make those things stronger. And as we know, that is super important as we age, and it also helps us to live longer and fight disease. I don't know if you know, but the amount of muscle mass that you have actually is correlated with your longevity and health and ability to fight off disease. So it's really, really important that we focus on our bone and our muscle health. It can actually improve your sleep. So sleep is one of the most important things we can do for our overall health and longevity as well. Getting good sleep is so important, and just going for a daily walk can actually help improve your sleep and ultimately improve your life. Going for walks will help to create momentum for you to do multiple other things. Like it can help you be more creative, more productive, check more things off your to do list, but it can also help you to kind of get momentum for working out further. So I guarantee you, if you commit to going to a 10-minute walk every day, that 10 minutes most of the time is going to turn into 15, 20, maybe even 30, 40 minutes to an hour. I guarantee once you commit to getting out for 10 minutes, you're going to feel so good and you'll say, I think I can go a little bit farther. So it also might even motivate you to go to the gym or hop on a bike or go for a run. So just committing to a short walk will help kind of give you further momentum. Like I said, not only for your checklist, to-do list, creativity, things like that, but also for further physical activity, which of course is related to our health as well. Walking can help with immunity, so it helps us fight off sickness, disease, longevity. I keep saying that. It really is correlated to helping us live a longer and healthier life. And like I said, there are so many research articles and studies out there. I definitely encourage you to look up some more like detailed statistics on this stuff because the data and the evidence is out there. Walking can aid in your fat loss or weight loss goals. So there's kind of a few different ways that you can walk, or let's categorize it into two different ways you can walk. So we can walk like we are running late, as I mentioned before, walking at that brisk pace. And that is what we would call LISS, which is LISS, low intensity steady state cardio. So there's low intensity steady state cardio, or there's high intensity interval training, HIIT training. And these two things are both excellent for our health and heart health and all these things, but they work a little bit differently. So low intensity steady state cardio is, like I said, going on this brisk walk for 20, 30 plus minutes, and that is going to help you get into the fat burning zone. When you're doing low intensity steady state cardio, your body is going to pull energy from your fat stores. Walking is a workout if you are doing it at the right pace. It can really help to aid in your fat loss and weight loss goals. Now, you do have to be in a calorie deficit, which means that you have to be burning more calories than you are consuming in order to be losing weight. But walking is a great way to help you achieve those goals. Now, there's another way that you can take advantage of walking for weight loss, and that is by just getting your steps in, whether it's at a workout pace or a leisurely pace, or just walking around the house or walking up and down the aisles in the grocery store. Now, that type of walking is called NEAT, NEAT, and that stands for non-exercise activity thermogenesis. Don't let me lose you. I know that was a mouthful. So non-exercise activity thermogenesis is essentially just the calories that our body burns from doing our everyday activities. We burn calories just from sitting on the couch and our body digesting food. We burn calories from loading the dishes in the dishwasher or walking from our car to inside the store. You're constantly burning calories, whether you're working out or not. And so when you just go for a leisurely walk or you get more steps in throughout the day, that will increase your NEAT, your non-exercise activity thermogenesis, which ultimately helps your body burn more calories throughout the day. And as I said before, if you are burning more calories than you are consuming, that will help aid in your weight loss journey. So I'm not a exercise coach or anything like that. If you want to learn more about that, I definitely recommend finding somebody online. There's lots of great resources, and you can learn more about fat loss, weight loss, all of this stuff I'm talking about, NEAT, LISS, HIT, all of these fun acronyms. But just overall, walking can absolutely be a great way to aid in your weight loss or fat loss goals. Another physical benefit from walking is walking around the block or just for 10 to 15 minutes after you've eaten a meal can help aid in digestion, and it can actually decrease your blood glucose or your blood sugar levels by 30 to 35% just by taking a quick 10 to 15 minute walk after you've eaten. And the reason that's important is essentially it just helps our body to process our meal better. It helps with our digestion. And when you're able to have more stable blood sugar or blood glucose levels, your body just operates better. And I don't want to go too deep into all the science behind it, but just making that a simple part of your routine by going for a post breakfast, post lunch, post dinner walk, it can really have massive long-term impacts on your health and especially your digestive health too. All right, so if all of these physical benefits weren't enough to convince you to add walking to your daily routine, let's talk about some of the mental benefits from walking. Now, I'm going to reference some stats from a few studies. I am not giving any type of medical advice. This is definitely something I encourage you to look into on your own. Talk to your doctor if you feel like you need to. I am just relaying some information that is already out there and would encourage you to look into it further if you're interested. So, there was a study done saying that walking for 45 minutes at a brisk pace, so walking like you're late for 45 minutes, just 4 to 7 days a week, can be proven to be equally as effective as taking antidepressants. That stat right there is so mind-blowing to me. So if you are someone who struggles with mental health, I really, really encourage you to look into this further and look into some of these studies that have been done on how walking can help improve your mental health, because that's insane. Walking for 45 minutes at a brisk pace for 4 to 7 days a week has been proven in some cases to be just as effective as antidepressants. That could potentially be life-changing for somebody out there. Another study done says walking for 3 times a week can decrease the onset of diseases like Alzheimer's and dementia by 30%. How insane is that? I am someone that's very passionate about brain health and trying to prevent these type of diseases, and just knowing that something as simple as walking 3 times a week at minimum can decrease the chances of getting a disease like Alzheimer's or dementia. That is a no-brainer to me. No pun intended there. And the way that that works, I will just give you a real quick thing about the way that works. So when you walk, your brain is going to release all sorts of hormones, lots of feel-good hormones like dopamine, endorphins, serotonin. These are all things that make us feel good and improve our mental health and the way we feel physically. But when you walk, it also your brain also releases hormones called growth factors, and that actually has the capability to grow new cells, new brain cells in the part of your brain called the hippocampus. So these growth factors grow new cells in your hippocampus, and that is the first part of your brain that is attacked with these diseases like Alzheimer's and dementia. So by walking and creating these growth factors, you're creating new cells in your hippocampus, and that is going to ultimately delay or fight off the onset of these diseases like Alzheimer's or dementia. That's so incredible to me. And there's so much new research coming out about Alzheimer's and dementia. I'm really fascinated to learn more about all of that as new research comes out. Okay, some other mental benefits of walking is it can actually help improve your memory. It can help with your attention span. And it's not just while you're walking. This is you receive these benefits throughout the day after you have walked as well. Walking can boost your creativity. This is scientifically proven that walking makes you have more creative thoughts. So if you're ever feeling in a rut, I highly encourage you to go for a walk. Walking can reverse brain aging. So kind of what I said before there with those growth agents and generating new cells. There's lots of ways that walking is beneficial for your physical brain. When your physical brain is healthy, your mental health generally tends to follow that. Walking is going to help you with decision making and problem solving. So if you've ever heard someone say, well, just sleep on it. When you're trying to make a big decision, they're like, just take the night, sleep on it, and you'll feel more clarity tomorrow after you wake up. Well, you could probably also say walk on it, because going for a walk has been proven to help you have more clarity, have more clear, creative thoughts, and get in a place where you are able to more clearly analyze, problem solve, and make better decisions. Okay, and then the last category for benefits is your emotional health. So, something that is so important to our health and longevity is having connections and having community. This just is something that makes us feel good. It makes us feel a part of a bigger cause. And you can really take advantage of being a part of a community with walking by having a walking partner, joining a walking group, participating in 5Ks or different challenges. These are all great ways for you to make friends or connect with friends and have a sense of community while you're doing something that's good for your mind and your body. Another fun study, I love this one because it's about dogs. Another study says that walking our dogs is proven to make us feel happier. And when we're happier, we are healthier. And the reason for this is when we take our dog for a walk, not only are we getting all these physical and mental benefits from walking, but we're doing something that we feel is making our dog happy and healthier. And in turn, that makes us feel happy and fulfilled and like we are doing something good for someone that we love and care about. So if you have a dog and you're not taking your dog on walks, why not? It is so good for the both of you, and it's going to make you feel good and fulfilled. And it's just so fun to make your little companion feel like you're doing something fun for them and something that they enjoy. And if you don't have a dog, maybe that's your perfect excuse to get one. Or maybe this is a great opportunity for you to go volunteer at an animal shelter, to walk dogs at your local shelter, or get involved. And I mean, who doesn't love dogs? They are just the most amazing things ever. So studies show that walking your dog can actually make you happier. We love to hear that. Okay, so that is kind of a bird's eye view of how walking can improve all areas of your health and your life. There are so many more that I probably didn't touch on. Actually, I don't think I said it can decrease stress and anxiety, but that's another one that we can add to the list. There are so many benefits to walking. And as I mentioned, I definitely encourage you to do some more research on some of these, look up some of these studies. There's constantly new studies coming out, lots of great resources on YouTube, other podcasts. So I just wanted to give you a little list there to encourage you in case you needed some convincing. So, now that we talked about why and how walking is so beneficial, let's talk about how we can actually implement this into our own lives. First, I would encourage you to pick a goal, and I would start with a step goal if you can. I would recommend aiming for 8 to 10,000 steps a day. That is something that is extremely doable for anybody listening. If you have the ability to walk, you should hands down be able to squeeze in 8 to 10,000 steps a day. You may have to put in a little bit of effort, especially if you work a desk job, a 9 to 5 job where you're kind of sedentary all day, but there's no reason you shouldn't be able to get 8 to 10,000 steps a day. Now, this is another benefit I actually forgot to tell you about, but the reason I say 8 to 10,000 steps a day is because there is a study done that shows that walking 8 to 10,000 steps a day will decrease all cause mortality by 50%. 50%. All cause mortality is essentially dying of anything at an early age that isn't like an accident or anything like that. So, getting heart disease or cancer or some type of autoimmune disease, like all of these things that are not considered dying of old age or dying in some type of accident, that would be all cause mortality. So, literally going for 8 to 10,000 steps a day can decrease all cause mortality by 50%. Like that right there should be your only reason to get in 8 to 10,000 steps a day. So, as I said, that should be very, very doable for every one of you listening. And if you feel like that's too much, maybe start with 7 to 8,000 and work your way up from there. But I promise you, if you put in a little bit of effort, you can get to 8 to 10,000 a day. It is so, so important. So first, start by setting your step goal. And if you don't have a fitness tracker, I have the Aura Ring. Highly recommend. I absolutely love it. I also used to have a Fitbit for years, but if you don't have a fitness tracker like that, your phone most likely has some type of app built into it, or you can download an app where you can use your phone as a step counter. So there's plenty of resources out there for you to be able to track your steps. Now, my next tip for you, once you have set a goal, is to make it easy on yourself. Make this as simple as possible for you to be able to achieve this goal. One tip I like to tell people is to put your shoes on or put your workout clothes on and just do that at the bare minimum. Like if it's one of those days where you really don't feel like going to the gym or going for a walk and you're just really feeling unmotivated, I encourage you to, at the very least, put your shoes and your workout clothes on. Because once you do that, it's almost like you're going to feel guilty for not going. You're going to kind of say to yourself, well, I'm already dressed, so I might as well just go and do a little bit, even if I don't do what I initially planned to do. And it kind of creates that momentum for you to just get out the door and do it. And once you commit to doing it, you're going to start to feel good and you're going to go a little bit longer. But if you don't, at least you got dressed and you went. So put your shoes on. That is one of my tips for making this as easy as possible. And as I said before, starting with smaller goals. So like start with 10 minutes. Say, I am going to commit to walking 10 minutes a day, and that is it. And if 10 minutes is all you're able to do, that is an absolutely great start. As we talked about, you can start to see benefits in as little as 10 minutes. But chances are, once you reach that 10 minutes, you're going to start to feel pretty good and you're going to want to keep going. So just start with small goals and work your way up is another great way to make it easy. Grab a walking partner or an accountability buddy. Those are also really great ways to kind of hold you accountable. Some other tips for getting your steps in are parking far away, like park in the back of the parking lot instead of the closest spot you can find. I know that's very minimal, but stuff like that will definitely add up. Do things like take the stairs instead of the elevator or the escalator. If you have the ability to walk to coffee instead of drive there, opt to walk. Like, if there's anywhere that you can walk instead of drive, definitely try to do that. And even if it's not at a workout pace, like walking like you're late, if it's just a leisurely stroll, you're adding to your NEAT, you're adding to your daily steps, and it all counts at the end of the day, just as long as you are getting your steps in. That's really what matters. So, all of those little habits, they seem silly at the time, but they will add up. And that definitely helps you to get to that step goal. My next tip for getting in your steps is making walking fun. So a lot of you listening are probably like, ugh, walking is just so boring. I just don't do it because I get bored. So I'm going to give you a list of the different types of walks you can go on to make it more fun and more entertaining. Now, I'll start with the silent walk, which is just walking without any music, without talking to anybody on the phone, without looking at your phone, just no podcast, nothing, going on a silent walk. And that is where probably most of you are like, that is boring. That's exactly why I don't walk. The reason I say this one first is because I think we are so overstimulated all of the time. Like, we constantly are listening to music or podcasts or have the TV on in the background. We're constantly on our phones, checking social media, looking at our email on our screens. We're so overstimulated that I really think that we could benefit from actually being bored. Like, there's a lot of good that can come from being bored. And when you go outside on a walk without any of the stimulation, you're actually going to regulate your nervous system and your dopamine levels and things like that. It can have really amazing benefits, and it's going to help kind of clear your mind, de-stress you. Don't knock it until you try it. But if you're someone who just needs a little bit more motivation and something to get you going on your walks, I totally understand. But personally, I absolutely love going for silent walks where I'm not listening to anything or thinking about anything. I'm just enjoying being outside and walking and thinking about whatever thought comes across my mind. Okay, the next type of walk is something that I'm sure you've heard of, is the hot girl walk. And this is when we put on our cute little matching set, we slick our hair back, we are listening to something motivational, maybe like a podcast, an audiobook, or doing a meditation, doing our affirmations, just kind of like manifesting and creating this energy of how we're going to better ourselves, and like this walk is helping to aid in us becoming the best versions of ourselves. I'm all for a hot girl walk. So those are really great if you're like looking for some inspiration, some motivation, you're using a walk to really like up level. Definitely recommend a hot girl walk. The next type is dog walks. As I said before, these are proven to make you feel happier. And who doesn't love feeling happier, especially when you're walking a dog? So every walk I go on is with my dogs. I absolutely love walking my dogs. They love it too. But if you don't have dogs, consider volunteering at your local shelter and walking the dogs there, because I know they would really love and appreciate that too. The next type of walk, I saw this on social media. This is called a color walk. And this is actually proven to help decrease like stress and anxiety. And if you're someone who struggles with racing thoughts and things like that, a color walk can actually be really beneficial to kind of get your mind off of whatever it is you're trying to get your mind off of. So when you go out for a walk, you're going to pick one color, and you're intentionally going to seek out and focus on whatever color it was you chose. So looking for the color pink. And it just kind of helps to like de-stress you, get your mind off of whatever you're worrying about, and it gives you something else to focus on that is very low stress, low pressure. And if you want to take it a step further, take your phone or your camera and take little pictures and videos of all the things that you see in the color pink or the color yellow, whatever color it is you choose. And you can kind of like save that to your camera roll. It'd be a really fun memory, or create an Instagram reel or post from it just to have something fun for you to do. The next type of walk is kind of related to this, and that is a photo walk. I love photography. I love taking my camera. Sometimes I feel a little bit in a creative rut and I don't know what to take photos of. So, a photo walk is an excellent way to, one, get walking, get your steps in, but to also feel more creative when it comes to photography. So, you can give yourself a prompt like, taking photos of certain colors or taking photos of certain objects. Like, I love taking photos of empty chairs and benches. I don't know why, I just do. But that's like something fun, is giving yourself a prompt. And again, this is great for just kind of helping your brain decompress, de stress, and do something a little less low pressure. Another kind of walk is a nature walk. So, I live in a city. There's cars, sirens, all this kind of stuff. Our neighborhood has nice big trees and everything, but it is not the same as walking through the woods or going on a hike, walking around the lake, something of that nature. So, getting out in nature, I could probably do a whole nother episode on the benefits of actually nature and the healing properties of breathing in fresh, crisp air and just being in the presence of nature. Brad and I last summer went out to Oregon, and it was so incredibly beautiful, but it was also like the air, you could just feel and smell how clean it was. It was amazing. We hiked and walked and just enjoyed being outside, and it was so nice and refreshing, and I felt absolutely zero stress while I was there. It was so incredible. So definitely look up some of these studies and look up some of the benefits of walking in nature, but highly encourage you to get out of the city if you're someone who lives in the city. Get out of your normal environment and go for a walk in nature. Friend walks are a great way to get your steps in and make walking more fun. I personally love doing walks as friend dates. One, we're doing something active together and, reaching our goals together, but it's also free. So, in times where you're like, I don't really want to go pay money to go out to eat, or not really feeling going to happy hour, walking is an excellent way to catch up with a friend. You can even grab a coffee and go for a little coffee walk too. That's one of my all-time favorite things and great ways to catch up with friends. Going for a multitasking walk. This is one that I don't necessarily recommend, but if you are struggling to get your steps in, this could be really great for you. So, doing something like checking your emails or taking a work call or video call while you're on a walk. A lot of people like to have a walking pad at their desk while they're working. But I'm more so thinking like going for a walk outside or on the treadmill at the gym. I have certainly, in times where I'm very busy with work, have been responding to DMs and emails and doing kind of admin stuff on my phone while I'm walking. It's a great way to get stuff done and get your steps in too. Again, don't really love the concept of it because I think you should be walking to like de-stress and get your mind off of that stuff. But if you are struggling to get your steps in, do consider like how you can stack other things on top of walking to get those things knocked off your checklist. Another type of walk is a post-meal walk. We talked about that and why that's beneficial for aiding in digestion, lowering your blood sugar, but it's also just kind of like a nice little ritual. In the summer, Brad and I love to have dinner and then take the dogs on a walk after dinner around sunset. It's just so nice. It's a really great way to like kind of wrap up our evening and spend time together. Another type of walk is a walk with your partner. So, as I said, Brad and I love to go on walks. We walk together every single day with the dogs, whether it's before or after a meal, whenever we can squeeze one in. But we actually get a lot accomplished on our walks. It's a really great time for us to connect with each other and talk about our days. It's like a dedicated phone-free, hey, let's talk. A lot of times we work out conflicts and problems while we're on a walk. Some people say that it's easier to have hard conversations while you're driving in the car with somebody because you're not forced to like face and look at them in the eye. You're both kind of looking forward. So it's a little bit easier to say something that needs to be said or things that are hard to talk about. Same thing goes for walking. We talk a lot about a lot of tough conversations while we're on walks. We solve a lot of problems and deal with conflicts. I don't know. It's just like kind of a nice dedicated time to do those things, but also catch up with each other, talk about our goals. We just really enjoy walking. And I feel like it's been a really great way for us to connect and have this time where we are dedicated to like really spending time with each other. All right. Something that was very popular several years ago, it's the 3-30-12. So this means walking for 3 times a week for 30 minutes at a 12% incline. Now, this is something you would have to do on a treadmill, but this is going to be that list type of workout, that low intensity, steady state cardio. This is great. A lot of people started posting about this because they were losing a bunch of weight, fat, things like that. It's a really great way to get your cardiovascular health in check. It gets your heart rate up. You're going to get all those benefits from walking. And by walking on an incline, it's really going to help you to like burn more calories and get into that fat burning zone. The 3-30-12 workout can be very effective and a great way to add to your workout regimen. All right, now the last type of walk that I will recommend is joining a challenge. I'm a very competitive person. I don't know if you are, but when you're in a group of people who are competing with one another, it is very motivating to get your steps in, especially if there's something at the end, like a prize, or if it's just bragging rights, because I'm very competitive. So I will absolutely do something for bragging rights. There are so many apps out there and ways to get involved in a walking challenge. I know on the iPhone, you can like share your Apple Health walking stats with your friends. I have a couple of friends who I share that with, and it's just fun to like tease each other and be like, hey, like get your steps in today, girl, or like you need to get moving. Or sometimes someone will have like a crazy day with a bunch of steps and we'll be like, oh my gosh, what'd you do today? So it's just a fun way to connect and check in with your friends. And there's in-person stuff too. Like you can always sign up to walk a 5K. I don't know if you know that or not, but a lot of 5Ks have that option. So just adding like a little competitive challenge can really help to motivate you. Now, the reason I saved that one for last is because I have a little surprise for you, and that is the Beautifully Consumed Walking Challenge. So, we are going to be doing a monthly walking challenge. It is totally free to join. We are starting on February 1st, and it's going to go all the way through the end of the month. And hopefully, this is something that will continue every single month. I am going to be announcing all the details, the app you need to download, and how to join the group. All of that will be in the description below. You can also find the details on my Instagram at Beautifully Consumed or my personal page at Hey Chelsea Leigh. I'll post all the details there. I'm going to be giving away little prizes every month, and you can join anytime. If you're listening to this after the first of the month, or if you're listening way down the road, feel free to still join and hop in anytime and get started. And we're going to just have so much fun with this. It's going to be a great way for us to connect and create community together, but also challenge each other to get out there and get our steps in. So stay tuned for all the details for the walking challenge. Again, it's going to start on February 1st, but feel free to go ahead and hop in and join now and get a little head start and see how many steps everyone's walking per day so you can get up there and be ready by the time we start on February 1st. So that is it for today's episode. I am so excited to start this monthly walking challenge. It's been something I've been thinking about for over a year now. So I'm really excited to get started with it and share my love of walking with y'all. I really, really hope that this episode was enlightening to you, that it can be encouraging for you to start getting your steps in. It is so, so important. It has the potential to absolutely overhaul your life. It can change your life, prevent disease, help you to live longer, help you to look better, feel better, sleep better. I mean, the benefits are absolutely incredible and endless. And I didn't really touch on me personally, but walking for me has really, like, there's been a few times in my life where I felt very down and depressed and unmotivated. When I started getting outside and walking, it really did help turn my mindset around, and it has helped me feel better. I love taking my dogs for a walk. Like I said, I love using walking as a way to spend time with Brad and my friends. Anytime I hang out with my mom, I suggest we go for a walk. It's free, it's easy. All you have to do is start. And another story, really, really quick, and then we're done. As I was talking about walking for losing weight, I have spent 2 summers in Italy, and both times I have lost over 10 pounds in just a few weeks. And the reason for that is how much I was walking. Now, there are a couple other factors that probably went into that, like the quality of the food is much better in Italy. There's no, it's much more fresh, less processed food. I was less stressed because I was on vacation, but the main contributing factor to that was how many steps a day I was walking. I wasn't doing any workouts. I wasn't going to the gym or running. I was walking. I saw incredible benefits from it. I felt so much more in shape. I felt leaner. So if all of these things haven't convinced you, I don't know what will, but I really, really hope that you consider getting out there and taking a walk, even if it's just for 5 to 10 minutes. Just get out there, get started. You will feel better. I promise you that. And I can't wait to start the challenge with you. All right, we are wrapping it up. That is all for today. Thank you so much for listening, and I will see you next time. Bye.